Hi, Brave friends. It's Laura from the Brave Girl Project, and it's Wednesday. We've made it to Hump Day. I'm excited to be here. And today I want to share 4 tips for building healthy self esteem. So, this can be for us as adults, it can be for our kids. We all need to take care of ourselves. And a lot of times, self esteem is something that if we're having or going through a difficult time, it's something that we start to notice as slipping. I also work as a school counselor, and at the beginning of the year, I do something that's called like a minute meeting, and I check in with students to see how they're feeling. And one basic question that I ask is, do you like yourself? In the older grades, my students are allowed to fill this out. They don't have to respond orally to me, but they know that I'm going to see their response. And I'm always kind of saddened when I see that I do have kids that are responding that they don't like themselves. So this is such an important topic. It's important for us. It's important for our kids. And I have a tool that I love to use. I have some affirmations that I'm going to give you a link to. So if you want to give this for your kiddo or you want to even use it for yourself, stay tuned because I'm going to share that. So the first thing that we need to do, not only for our kiddos, but for us, is to be mindful. Whatever we're thinking is creating our feelings. And so when we're able to start to be aware of what we're thinking, it helps create a little bit more distance between that thought and that feeling, and it doesn't have as much power. So when we start to notice that negative thought or that negative pattern we get into, it can kind of help us take a pause and then look at, is that really a realistic thing that's going on in my life, or is that really true about me? So self-esteem is something that can be learned. And oftentimes we have to unlearn some negative thought patterns that we've developed over time. And with our kiddos, just helping them be mindful of what were you thinking? And not in terms of a disciplined way, but like, explain to me what your thoughts are. I want to understand what it feels like to be you. And that can be very important. And as a parent, you can do some of that out loud so that your kiddos can kind of hear how you think through and how you become mindful of your feelings. And so it might be you saying something like, oh my gosh, I'm noticing that I'm feeling, not so good about myself. And I think it was because, I started to kind of compare myself to somebody else, and that's not good because I'm not that person. We're completely different, and I'm going to change that thought. And doing something like that out loud can really kind of help your kiddo see what you can do so that they can try it themselves. So that's tip 1, is to simply be mindful. Tip 2 is we need to change the story. We all have a story about us, and it's like our perception of us. And I'm going to share like my story. When I can't exactly remember. I want to say maybe I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I was definitely in elementary school, and our local library was having an event, and it was a Jeopardy game. So I went to that with some of my friends. I think it may have even been some girls from our Girl Scout troop. And it was my turn to kind of go up and answer questions. And I didn't get any of them. I got really nervous. There's a bunch of parents there. I didn't expect that. And I just kind of froze. And I remember hearing a mom say, this is the state of like our education system, kind of responding to my inability to answer questions. And I remember thinking to myself, I am so stupid. And even now, I still have to work at that, not going back to that experience. But that really formed like kind of my perception. That was my story, that I'm not very smart. School's hard for me. I'm not going to be able to learn things quickly. And that really affected my self-esteem and how I saw myself. I did horribly in high school. It wasn't until I was actually out of high school and college that I started to have like academic success. And then that little bit of like success, it kind of snowballed where it challenged me to kind of actually change that perception of who I was. So what we need to do is change the story and notice, like when we're mindful, we can notice what is that story, and we have to challenge it. We have to look for evidence where that's not true, because a thought isn't always true. Don't believe all of your thoughts about yourself or the perceptions that others have of you or what you think people are thinking about you, because we really don't know. One thing that I know that we can do is write down affirmations, like what do we want to see us become, or who do we want people to see us as? And when we write those words down as if they are happening now, or as if we can do something, it has such a powerful effect on us. And over time, it really can help us. Studies have shown that if you take a minute of time and you write down as many positive things about yourself, it can lessen depressive feelings. So they've done lots of research on that. I know sometimes people might think of Saturday Night Live skits on affirmations, but they really are helpful. And so I'm going to have a link at the very end that has 30 affirmations that you can do with yourself or with your kiddo. You can just have it as a morning routine. I do affirmations every morning, and I just have them in a little index card booklet. I just kind of read through them and just keep adding ones that kind of speak to me. But you could even do this like on the way to school. You could have them look at it before they go to bed. And it could be kind of a nice ritual that you might do with your kiddo. And then avoid comparing. Comparison is like the thief of joy. There's no way that, when we look at somebody else, we're so different. And so we get stuck sometimes in this trap of comparing. And when we do that, we really build that negative loop and that negative thoughts that just kind of cycle. So we have to stop doing that. There's no way that you're going to be like your neighbor, or there's no way like you're going to be like that girl in class, because you two are very different and we have different skill sets for a reason. Your friend might be like an amazing runner, and maybe you're really good at art. And either one is wonderful. There's not one quality that is going to define your worth as a person. And letting your child know, or catching them if you see that comparison happening, you're comparing yourself to someone that's completely different. You are special and unique just the way that you are. And affirming that to them and yourself is so important. And then our very fourth one, I wore my glasses today so that I could kind of see everything, is to channel your own inner rock star, because we all are amazing. I mean, it's amazing that we're all even here, and we have so many unique traits within our personality, different character strengths that we bring. And if we don't allow those gifts to shine, the world doesn't get all the wonderful benefits of all of us. And so we're made in a unique way, and our gifts should be shared. And I love a quote by Albert Einstein. He says, we are all geniuses, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life feeling that it's stupid. And I think that's just amazing. I think for me, one of the lessons that I always love to teach at school is, how are you smart? Because we all are smart, but we are smart in different ways. And so helping our kids see your talents are very different than other people. And that's what's wonderful. And we have all of us have weaknesses, we have strengths. And it's like reminding ourselves of that is so very important. And I just hope that this is something that we all can kind of work on. One thing that I think would be an interesting thing is to ask your child, like, tell me all the wonderful things about you, and see how many things that they can come up with. If it seems like it's kind of hard for them to list some things, I would then start trying to do some of these different activities where you're practicing maybe some mindful awareness of thoughts, and letting them know, like, your thoughts are what create your feelings, and everything you're thinking may not always be true. Don't believe all those thoughts. What is maybe their story? It may be something that they've gained from like maybe when they were in school, something that they heard a classmate say or a teacher, or it may even be something that we as parents may have said that they've just kind of attached to, where it wasn't anything we were trying to do to hurt them, but maybe they've kind of carried on something that's not serving them anymore. And then making sure that they're not comparing themselves. And in that, making sure that we also aren't doing that comparison with their siblings or other classmates. And then allowing them, how can you let your child have their moment to be their own rock star? And how can you kind of help them point some of that out? This past Monday, I did the live with my son Logan, and one thing that he suggested in communicating with your child is putting yourself in your child's shoes and trying to, in thinking of this, is like, how could you build your child up as the rock star that they are, so that they can kind of see it and really feel it. So I hope that this has been helpful. Let me give you, here is the link. It's 30 affirmations. You can print it out on like a cardstock. Sometimes what I do is I just have them on a little metal ring and we just kind of flip through them. So these are good for boys or girls. And it's just bit.ly/30 affirmations. And you can just kind of download those, and it can be a great resource for you, because we all deserve to feel amazing. And especially our kids. I want them to go to school feeling loved and confident, and that they're able to handle the challenges of the day. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So excited for the weekend. I hope you guys do lots of fun things, and I hope you continue to live life bravely. Thanks so much. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and make sure to share. Thanks so much, friends. Bye.